This is a cry for help, an act of desperation. Call it what you want. I just want to know I am not the only person on YouTube who thinks this way. What way, I hear you ask? That we should just let Kiely Rodni rest in peace. If and when any investigations are announced or information comes out, then sure, there might be cause for further discussion and conversation, but I've barely scratched the surface of YouTube in the last, I don't know, when was it I last went live? I've been really unwell this week. I had laryngitis, which was I had something that led to laryngitis, and I've had no voice, which many would say is a blessing, but it made it impossible to work because, I talk on my job. I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. But we're not sleeping, and for the most part, that's all I have done for the last few days. Look, I got knocked for a 6. Just a little bit of skipping around the YouTubes, a bit of poncing on the tubes. And I'm just mortified at how this case is just been analysed and overanalyzed, and all the, hey, Bristol. Well, it's just a little rant while I drive home. So, I don't know. I quite like falling asleep to rants. But, from making out Kiely Rodni wasn't even a real person, and then I happened to stumble across a channel. Oh, my God, I swear to God, whatever remaining brain cells I have left in my skull, and I'm starting to question if there are any at all. I figure there must at least be one left for me to be able to operate heavy machinery, i.e. drive. Who slowly went through all the AWP footage and identified anywhere from 2 to 4 more people in the car, all in the car together, all drowned. Look, you can make out the face and the hair, and there's another person just there. Okay, now that's not even her car that was pulled out of the reservoir. I just can't. You people are not investigators. If there are suspicious circumstances that warrant investigating, professional investigators will investigate. I thought the bullshit theories that still continue to this day about Chris Watts would never be surpassed. Let's wheel in the Kiely Rodni case. And it's not even a case at the moment. It's a story at the moment. It's a story about a 16-year-old girl who died. That's what it is. It's not even a case. But I think they are actually successfully, unashamedly exceeding the insanity that was the Chris Watts case. And I just want to know if I'm the only one who feels this way on YouTube, because hundreds of people are rolling into all of these lives and, oh, yes, I can make out a 19th person in the car in the AWP footage. Yep, there's a boot right there. Yep, I can see that too. They're all rolling on in and all enabling these fucking creators and their BS. Well, and thank you for popping in, Elise, and saying hello to me, because I did almost feel I was trying to work out a way that I could let people know this is about her without her actually using her name. But if I put, what in the Kentucky Fried Chicken is going on YouTube, well, I don't know, maybe that would have still drawn a crowd, but it just, what in the blazing saddles is going on, people? And all the people that are enabling this and throwing so much money at these creators, and I don't even have kids, and I'm horrified to think what it would be like to have a deceased child and their story being probed so fucking thoroughly. Like, every sentence that comes out of every person's mouth every word of every sentence is being analysed, and all of these creators know precisely what people meant when they said things. And, the fact that somebody paused when asked, did you find a body in the car, indicates that there were more bodies than just one. Like, maybe they paused briefly to remember what their brief was and whether they were allowed to mention that or not. Like, for fuck's sake. And so on YouTube in the true crime community said this, so it must be true. Why? How? I could seriously start playing any fucking live on YouTube in the last 24 hours and do a reaction video and just throw devil's avocado questions back at them after every fucking comment they make. And everyone in the chat's going, oh my God, you're amazing. I can't believe you discovered this. You found this. Oh my God, you're incredible. And half of it's just people weaving meanings and definitions and intentions into people's comments to suit their own bullshit narrative. Oh wow, you've got so much great foresight. You clearly know true crime. Look at you. You've worked all this out. Oh my God, quick, get on the phone to the police now. How have they survived without you and your expertise for so long? It's fucking insanity. Somebody please tell me I am not alone here. It looks like Bristol might be on my team. What in the fuckadoodle-doo? Oh my God. And then there's all of the, oh, well, if the family are on social media and they're saying all of this and it upsets them, they should get off social media. Who the fuck are you people? Maybe you should all get off social media because you are speculating and saying some horrific things about a 16-year-old girl who died, who you don't know, you didn't love, you didn't care about. And you're using her story to put your bullshit out there. You're the ones that shouldn't be on fucking social media. Families of victims are allowed to be on social media. I'd fucking want to know what people were saying about my deceased 16-year-old. I'd also want to be on social media to connect with my family and friends and loved ones. There's a million reasons to be on social media. Like, fuck you and your hypothetical bullshit saying that families of victims shouldn't be on social media. I am calm, by the way. I'm just using words like fuck for dramatic effect. I'm focusing on my driving. Like, I mean, there's so many examples of bullshit that I have heard in the last 24 hours and I didn't actually listen to that much. I did listen to some channel. I hope I can find them because I really want to do a reaction to them. Because when one of Kylie's friends asked about things that Kiely loved, one of the things this girl said that Kiely loved was the water. As in, going to the beach, swimming. Well, apparently, the fact that she mentioned Kiely loves the water That's, all the evidence is there. Oh, yeah, she just had to throw that in there, says the commentator on YouTube. Like a heap of things that Kylie was interested in, and one of them happened to be water, mixed in with things like cooking and clothing and or fashion and singing, like having an amazing singing voice. That breaks my heart that she had an amazing singing voice. But this fucking YouTube, oh yeah, she had to throw in water, didn't she? She must be the murderer. There's the little clue for everyone. You watch, that girl's going to be charged and convicted because she said Kylie likes water, and she ended up in the water. Ooh, oh my God! And it's not even the dumbass creators that are doing it that bother me as much as the hundreds of people that are flocking into that bullshit and praising them and throwing money at them for this horrible, disrespectful, hypothetical rubbish. You are not alone. Yeah, there's nothing new. And like when the other night when Checker TV found some of her belongings, it was newsworthy. It was like, this is interesting. I did go live about it because I'm like, this is relevant. This is news, This is interesting. Did I take it to mean that there must be foul play? No, I took it to mean the dive team were inept and didn't do a really good sweep of the area. Full stop. That's as far as I went with my opinion on that. There's shit still in the water that fell out of her car. Allegedly, they did a few sweeps and shit was still there. Not really good at doing the sweeping. That's all the conclusion I could reach. But now we've got one channel making out that there's, somewhere between 2 and 5 other people in the fucking car as well. Oh, you reckon that the dude that was diving for AWP, when he came up, he wouldn't be like, holy fuck, there's a carload of people down there? Now we've got someone else saying that isn't Kylie's car, but correct me if I'm wrong, in AWP's footage, the rego, like the license plates on the car, matched the license plates on the car that Kylie owned. So what, now we've got someone swapped the plates and put them on some other fucking person's car that's got 2 to 5 more people in the car underwater? It just gets more and more insane. And I don't think any of these people are actually listening to what they're saying. I'm going to do some reactions. I'll probably get struck. You'll probably never hear of me again after this, because if I can find a channel, hopefully there's some sort of history in YouTube that I can go back and see, like videos that I've listened to, because one of them came on when I was driving into town to have lunch with a friend of mine, and I was having a field day heckling that fucker. That was the one who thinks that it's insanely significant that one of Kylie's friends specifically mentioned Kylie loved the water when she was listing Kylie's attributes and interests. And that's a red flag to this YouTube creator and signs of foul play. She just had to throw it in there, didn't she? That's what the YouTube creator said. Well, she's listing things that Kylie loved, and the water was one of them. Yeah, it's unfortunate that she ended up in water, but I don't think it means anything sinister. This poor girl and her family, my God. And it used to do my fucking head in, it still does. But people are still postulating and theorising about Chris Watts, and I used to think, fuck, just let Shanann and the kids rest in peace. But now we're watching creators do the same thing to a deceased 16-year-old, and it's made me ropeable. And then there's another creator that just rolled on up to Kylie's memorial, as you do. As you do. Yep, just going to roll on up to a celebration of this deceased teenager's life, this girl that had the world at her feet. Highly intelligent. A whole life ahead of her. And can you respect the friends and family of this girl? Who must be absolutely fucking devastated? And maybe let them grieve in peace? Oh, no, you can't. What, because you've got a media pass and you're some fucking thug on YouTube who stands outside of people's houses with a fucking bullhorn? That makes it okay to rock up? Okay. Wow. Like, imagine if this was their kid. Imagine the outrage on YouTube. Imagine them rallying the troops to, fight for them and let the YouTube world know this is not okay. We wouldn't hear the end of it. But they have no qualms doing this shit when another family and friends are grieving for a girl that they absolutely adored who's no longer with us. It's fucking disgusting. A lot of lurking, no one talking, except Bristol. Bristol and I, we're a team. Look, I only needed to find one person and I feel fine now. You've given me hope, Bristol, and I hope you sleep sweetly and peacefully, and thank you. I will too, much later on. I mean, I'm doing a show tonight on my channel that I do every week with a friend of mine, Finn, called Batshit, where we look at the most batshit stories from around the world in the last week or so. And occasionally I have exposed fucking whack job YouTubers for their crazy shit, but because Finn and I didn't meet in the inverted commas true crime community, a lot of it gets lost on him, and it's easier to share other stories that are, unless it's someone who's just been a blatant fuckwit, it's often just easier for me to find other stories and keep the YouTube fuckery out of our show. And we cover like 8 or 9 stories in an hour, so I'd need a good half an hour to explain all this fuckery. But oh my God, it's like every second notification on my YouTube page at the moment, it would be a candidate for batshit. And then add to that the hundreds of thousands of people rolling into all of those channels and cheering them on and making out they're these amazing heroes, and look at all this stuff that they've found and they're going to solve this case. It's not even a fucking case. It's a really sad story. The end. It's a really sad story with a smattering of police diver incompetence. The end. And if there's more that is factual, what is it? Because I was hoping someone had some new facts, but nope. And then people will be like, we're all allowed to speculate. Speculate with facts. When there's some facts, let the speculation begin. But until there's facts, you're not speculating, you're bullshitting. And you have people that think you're amazing because you're bullshitting. The number of people in that chat, oh yeah, I could definitely, oh yeah, there's definitely a phase. If we go down, we're going to go down to the beach till I've recruited at least one more person on this little team of bewildered YouTube observers. But we're going to look at the clouds, and I reckon we'll be able to find heaps of faces in the clouds. I mean, half the people that are commenting about this shit, in my opinion, have never even been underwater. Like, I don't think they've ever been like, they've never gone for a dive and know what it's like when you're in the water, or can visualize the way things could get thrown around in a car when it hits the water and rolls over and then gets rolled over underwater again without it being wrapped and shit falling out. And like the way they're talking, they seem to have absolutely no experience of being underwater to sort of influence their way of thinking. Oh yeah, I remember back to when I was scuba diving in Fiji and this is what my hair looked like, or it's fucking insane. And then all these subscribers are like singing their names and praise be, you're amazing. You're going to solve this fucking case with your wisdom. Oh shit, I've got to stop at the post office. I don't think it'll matter. No one else is chatting. I've got some lurkers. I got me some lurkers. It's a bit sad though. I was hoping I would at least. Well, look, no, it's not. Bristol is on my team as well. And that's the sad thing too. There are more people that would rather be flocking in and listening to these creators that have absolutely no skill or experience, who've just roped in a heap of goons who are all agreeing with, oh yeah, I can definitely see at least one other person there. Oh, there's a face. Yep, that's definitely some hair there. Then hang out with people that are like, can we just settle down with all this fucking craziness until we've got some new facts and information? And until then, maybe we just let Kiely rest in peace and let her family and friends grieve. Show some fucking respect. So not one lurker is going to say hello. I might do a little exercise. I'm going to see. There's 6 people watching now. No people speaking. I'm going to leave this live going. Literally of footage of a very unattractive brick wall. And I'm going to see if more people come in while I'm not saying anything that I thought might be of interest to a few people. I'm going to see if there's more people here when I come back or less. Because if there's more, I might as well just leave YouTube. Or no, not leave YouTube, stay on YouTube, but literally just go live with my camera pointing at a wall and saying nothing. So yeah, I'm going to grab my mail. I'll be a couple of minutes. I'm curious to see if my numbers go up and if more people are interested in looking at a brick wall than listening to me speaking. I think I've found my new niche on YouTube. It doesn't bother me. Fucking way less preparation if you just go live pointing a camera at a wall and saying nothing. My God, have I finally cracked the YouTube code? Ah, okay. Well, my experiment failed. Well, it didn't fail, but there's still four of you in here. Hi. What do you think of the wall? Oh no, there's three. Okay, so I came back and lost one. Maybe that is the key to YouTube success. Oh, two now. You funny fuckers. But that's cool. Because, yeah, I might just start going live with my camera pointing at a brick wall. That seems to hold a crowd better than I can. But I'm happy. I've got Bristol. And yeah, I guess everyone on YouTube, except for Bristol and I, wants to buy into all of the crazy theories and, well, I don't even know if you can really formulate a theory without some facts as well. Theory's probably being too kind. Hey, Lola Roo. You hit the like. Thank you, Lola Roo. I love your name. It's cute as. Lola Roo. We've got, like, in our family, we give, I don't know why, our nieces and nephews and children, not that I have kids, but my siblings, friends. So, like, my sister's son, Jock, was Jock LaRue. Then my best friend, her son, Lockie's Lockie LaRue. Then we've got a Lily Lou. Everyone's names get messed up with. I might just go down to the beach for a minute. I'm hoping there's some clouds because I just want to show you guys something. Oh, your aunt's middle name was Lou. L-U. How cute. Yeah, Lily's Lily Grace, but for some reason we've all just called her Lily Lou. My nephew James, my sister-in-law, said, you know, we just wanted a strong blokey name that, you know, we liked the short, but we also liked James, just short and simple. And he's pretty much been Jimmy Jack James since he was a baby. Jemima May gets Memmy Lamoo. And then, yeah, Jock LaRue, Jockey LaRue, and then Lockie Lou LaRue. Like, it's, I don't know why we do that. Lola Roo is very cute. But I'm curious, Lola Roo, if you're on the case every day, are you taking everything you watch with a grain of salt? Are you, like, listening with one eye sort of squinted and one wide open, like with a bit of a questionable facial expression? Like, because I cannot get over how ridiculous this is getting. And I saw a video yesterday of people analysing the murky waters from AWP footage and identifying somewhere between 2 to 5 other people in the car. We've had a creator saying she didn't even exist. Now, because a friend, when listing some of Kylie's interests and also mentioning she was a great singer with an incredible voice, because she mentioned Kylie's love of the water, which I too share. I mean, I live here. This is my home. You're trying, but you got sucked into the nonsense, to be honest. Hey, Saint Reddy. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Yep. The armchair detectives. Oh my God. And there was one I was listening to driving into town who, yeah, because Kylie's friend mentioned in a list of Kylie's interests that she loved the water. I mean, I'm a beach girl, so I love the water too. But Kylie loving the water and ending up in the water is evidence of foul play. What? How? And now they're saying it wasn't even her car that was pulled out. And yet I'm pretty sure the rego plates on the car that I saw in AWP's footage matched the rego plates that were on the missing person and the details of her car listed there as well. I just can't with it. And I can't handle all these people that are in the chat going, yeah, I can see at least 3 other people in there. I agree, St. Ratty, and that's where I'm ropeable. I mean, I'm calm now. I've been to the post office. But the whole point of coming to the beach, I mean, I always end down here anyway, but I wanted to see if we could find people in the clouds. And I'm looking at the screen and there's a lot of people in the clouds. Fucking at least 30. Right smack bang in the middle of the screen, in the middle of the clouds, is a big round face of maybe a pig. I can kind of see a slightly tilted face. Right behind it, there's a face. To the left, there's a face. There's a cow. I can see a wolf. So many faces. How that? These fuckers with the people underwater or the people in the car. AWP pretty much showed everything until they blurred out Kylie. And they're looking at all this footage going, look at all the other people in the car. You reckon AWP wouldn't have mentioned them? I mean, the guy comes up and literally says, she's in the back. It looks suspicious. Call the authorities. Not, there's fucking 5, 6 people in this car, man. And we've got a much bigger accident on our hands than we were anticipating. Good point. Exactly. But this is the problem, Lola. Because if you just, I don't know, watch with logical thinking. Oh, yes, it is scary at night. But, I mean, some people would find where I live scary at night because we don't have street lights. It gets incredibly dark. I mean, if the moon's out, it's beautiful. You get a lot of light. But it's, walking on this beach at night, pitch black. Whereas I kind of like it. But yeah, if I went for a walk and heard a noise behind me, I'd be like, oh, and then you'd all be like, oh, and then we'd all get scared. But if it was just me walking along and I heard a noise, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's just a noise. You know what I mean? Yeah, when Cleo disappeared, most blamed the parents. I know. And unfortunately, some of the channels that were very quick to do that are now pushing this foul play narrative, and they all think that they're investigators. And if I can find the video that I was listening to driving in to have lunch with a friend earlier, I'd love to do a reaction. I'll probably get struck. You guys may never hear from me or see me again. Maybe I'll do it on my Smooth Criminal channel just in case. Because I was heckling this bitch. I mean, I don't know if she's a bitch. I'm using that casually, but Lawless Corner, g'day. Goovers. Grovers. Goovers. Groovers. Yeah, we get to see all the beautiful stars too, St. Ratty. Aren't you in SA? Deb Tuttle, g'day Groover. Yeah, we've got the lovely Lola Roo. How cute's her name? She gave me the thumbs up too. Some of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. You are very much a groover, St. Ratty. Yeah, Riverland. No, well, I lived in SA for nearly 20 years. Oh my God, I did a comedy show. Fuck. What town was it? Loxton? Limo, the comedian Limo, who's a buddy of mine. He was from there. I think it might have been Loxton, actually. Fucking went off like a frog in a sock. They loved us. Me and my friend Joe, we were dangerous curves. And well, of course, the hometown boy got the standing ovation. Fair enough, too. Limo is hilarious. I've been going through photos because I was trying to find photos of my grandmother meeting the Queen, and I keep finding photos of Limo and me and like the Adelaide comedy scene from the very late 90s into the early noughties. What a wacky bunch of kids we were. No name kids back then. Even nobody outside of Adelaide knew who Adam Hills was either. And there's all these Mickey D, there's Justin Hamilton, there's all these photos of us all just being dicks. And then half of them went on to do incredible things. In fact, when Limo and I met, we were both doing comedy, but he was still working as an accountant and I was working as a lawyer. We were the ones with the serious corporate day jobs, and then we were wacky comedians at night. But it was Limo's birthday the other day. Oh, you remember me on the radio. You lived in Rads for 18 years, originally from Barmera. You went to Loxton High in 94. There you go. I love chatting SA with people from SA on the YouTubes because, I mean, I kind of spent, well, up until I got older and now it's no longer, but at one point in time I'd spent half of my life in SA and half here. But then I've travelled and done all kinds of other weird shit too. Do you remember me on the radio in Adelaide during the Fringe and doing Adelaide's Funniest Female? With Triple M, because that was the longest stint I did. But I bounced around a little bit. Comedians got a lot of airtime back then, and we used to promote our Fringe shows, and I didn't win Adelaide's Funniest Female, and Greg Fleet and Fiona O'Loughlin protested outside Oz Stereo on Green Hill Road for days. I'd crack you up. Your other half was a Triple M nut. Cool. Yeah, that was with Grant and Jars and Andrew Jarman. Who weirdly the Adelaide law firm I worked for at the time, we were also his lawyers. So he was a bit conflicted by me. He's like, I can't work you out. Some days I come to see you at work as a lawyer and you do lawyery things, and then other days you're in here making everybody laugh. In fact, I messaged Sam Mack the other day because he too has now become, has got a national profile, and he's just had a baby, and we were chatting about those glory days of Oz Stereo and nobody knowing who we were and how much fun it was, and we love jazz. Adelaide Crows all the way. Well, look, I did act for the Adelaide Crows because they didn't have their own internal legal team for the first few years they were in existence. And I did actually help with the Jazz brothers, the Jarman boys. They started their own PR company called Brothers in Arms. And I used to work at a pub with Tony Modra, weirdly. And I love the Crows, but I was raised a proud Geelong supporter, and bearing in mind what's happening tomorrow night, go the mighty fucking Cats. That's all I've got to say on the matter. And yeah, mods. um, he used to work in the bottle shop, and we used to just make him go and get shit out of the bottle shop. Not that we needed anything, but he'd take his top off, and we would all swoon. Fuck, I loved him. He was so much fun. Total dodgy as fuck family, though. Oh my god, they were bad boys. But Mods was a hoot and hot. Not the smartest Mods on the block, but didn't matter. You used to watch him play for the Red Mark Road. Oh, fuck no. Not can the pound, can the pound. I do that all the time when South Australians come into chat. Can the pound. I think I might have even done that on Triple M a fair bit. But fuck no, anyone but Collingwood or Port Power. But not everyone gets the Port Power thing. I just tell people, I'm like, it's just Collingwood 2.0. Like, that's exactly, it's no coincidence they're both magpies. I mean, Port Adelaide would have been the Magpies if they weren't already the Magpies. We know that. We remember Port Adelaide before they became national and their colours, their Guernseys. Matchy, matchy. Whereas I personally think the Adelaide Crows and Geelong Cats colours are the best football colours there are. And can I have two football teams? Yes, according to Ron Barassi, I can. As he pointed out to me, I have played for and coached for several teams, and I love them all dearly. So if people think that there's a problem liking more than one team, they can come and talk to me about it, said Big Barras. Geelong is your team for the finals, Deb. Who is still left? Collingwood. I think, I'm pretty sure, because my brother-in-law and best friend in America, who's Australian but lives in America, are both Collingwood supporters. Fuck knows how either of them made it through the front gate at our home. I'm still disgusted. But yeah, if Collingwood hadn't won last weekend, my brother-in-law still wouldn't be speaking, and he was definitely speaking when I saw him on Sunday. I feel bad that I've gone on a little football rant, and I really wanted to just say to the YouTube world, you're all fucking insane and you're disrespectful to Kylie and her friends and family. And if I react to a channel and sort of pause it and start chatting again and they strike me, I'm going to take them on for fair use. Because I'm sorry, if you go live on your channel and you're being irresponsible and putting all these dumbass fucking, and again, I don't want to even use the word theories or speculations, definitely not speculations, but now I'm even thinking theories are usually based on some semblance of fact. And hypotheses sounds fancy, and these creators are not fancy, they're fucking lunatics. But even weirder is how many lunatics listen to that shit and super chat them and praise their brilliance at investigating, yet not one of these YouTube creators has been picked up by the FBI for their genius observations. Have you noticed that? Oh, good on you, Deb. Sorry. I started looking at the clouds again to see if I could find more faces, because honestly, the video of the people saying, Look at all the dead bodies in the car. I mean, I shouldn't laugh because there was one dead body in the car, which is awful. But all of the other people that were on there going, yeah, I can see them. That's definitely hair. It is annoying, and no one's calling them out. And I want to do some reactions because I think it would be quite funny because of how ludicrous their bullshit is. But I'm also mindful of being struck. But I sort of feel if you're going to put this highfalutin weirdness out there, then you deserve to be critiqued, right? I agree. I think they should be charged. And to be honest, St. Ratty, I've got a feeling that the time for that sort of stuff is nigh because, we've had a very prolific case here a few weeks ago that led to a guilty conviction, the Chris Dawson case, and the Teacher's Pet podcast heavily influenced that conviction coming about, but it also heavily impacted on him not being guaranteed a fair trial, so it was heard by judge alone. This is an organic area of law that's unravelling, and I'm actually going to meet with a lawyer in Tasmania who's very passionately following this area of law too to see if he's done some additional study or what he recommends I should do because I'm fascinated by it. I mean, I would love to go live on YouTube and point out all of the things people are potentially exposing themselves to by doing this shit. Because it's a menace to if a case is actually, because Kylie's story isn't even a case yet. Yeah, the Chris Dawson thing is, I'm covering that on my channel at the moment because it's just so fascinating. And that guilty verdict was handed down in the same week that AWP found Kylie's car and found Kiely. And, the fact that these social media platforms are actually getting results is so inspiring to me. And I can't understand why some of these YouTubers aren't going, holy shit, I could be the next social media platform that brings about a positive outcome. But these fuckers aren't motivated by that. They're just spinning the wheel and throwing random ideas out there and people are latching onto it, and then they're showing a couple of murky underwater photos where, oh, yes, I can see a face there. Well, I mean, I could see a 10-course meal there, like you can see whatever you want to see. And the masses are flocking in and, oh, you're a genius was one comment. I was like, yep, the money is definitely a thing. And they get thrown a lot of super chats for the amount of bullshit they're spouting. It's unbelievable. It's like for every bit of bullshit they spout, they get $50 thrown their way. It's just such a warped world we're in. And I can't leave it because it is just so bizarre to me. But I also feel like there's an opportunity for creators and subscribers who are just no bullshit. And we're like, yep, this is what's going on. These are the facts so far. Let's discuss. No new facts. Let's not discuss. But I think it's time to start calling out some of these twerps. And money's obviously a huge motive. But all these weirdos that just keep rolling in and, oh my God, you're a fucking genius. You honestly think if there's someone on YouTube whose investigation skills are so highly honed and so perfect and so successful and bringing about incredible outcomes time after time after time, they wouldn't have been snapped up by the FBI already? Or the CBI or ASIO if they're in Australia? But they haven't been. And who's the next poor kid that loses their life, that becomes fodder for these fucking fanciful weirdos, idiots? Do I watch GD Run? Do you know, I've been around since, I'm a bit OG Chris Watsy, when back in the day when GD Run was a tiny little channel. In fact, I went into a live once. I was the only one in there. He'd lost his power. We chatted for about an hour. He used to come for walks with me on the beach. He used to drop into my chat and say good day when I was walking along this very beach. And yes, I do watch Judy Ron. Not a lot. Pardon me, I'm recovering from illness this week and I've got a bit of laryngitis. I actually listened to him and his buddy. I went there for a bit of, I was like, surely they're not postulating, and they weren't. They talk about the facts and stuff. And I think people, like people like his channel, like Ron and, is it Ed? I can't remember his other. I mean, Joey Brooklyn used to come for walks on the beach with me too. But they now, I've changed my channel name, and if I went into his chat and said it's Tori from Tasmania, he'd know exactly who it is. But they sort of go through what might have happened using their experience and knowledge. And I think one of them was sort of encouraging people to, you've got to actually picture things and use your imagination a bit. If you're going to look at this sort of stuff, you've kind of got to be in that car and picture what happened as it rolled over and the pressure of water and the movement of the car and all kinds of stuff. But they don't. Oh, my God, when MGL took stones, I know. Bad juju. That was disgusting too. And then apparently Bull and Betty went to Kylie's celebration of life. Like what? Like a memorial? Oh, I was allowed to go. I've got a press pass. How about you just don't? You don't belong there. Life Perplexed went to some sort of memorial that was open to the public too, and I didn't really think that was a good move either. I just don't have that goal. But the really weird thing too with Kiely Rodni is it's a story at the moment. That's it. It's a story. It's not actually a case. Like if in a week's time, a month's time, the cops say autopsy received, no further investigations required, case closed, do you think these people are going to be decent and just move on? No. This will go on for years. Add it to the list. Poor little Gabby Petito is now being, it's been alleged she's not a real person. It's just batshit. And I'd love to talk about it on the show, batshit, but Finn, to get Finn up to speed on this shit, we need like 78 hours. And we haven't got that in an hour-long show where we look at 8 or 9 stories, but some of the biggest batshit I witness online is happening in the very community we do batshit on. And there are channels that are given credence as being reputable. And I was like, well, that's a bit weird because there's one true crime creator who during the Cleo Smith case, a man with the exact same name as the man who was subsequently charged with Cleo's kidnapping was identified in the media, photographs and everything else, and it was the wrong guy. And so he was in the process of instructing lawyers to, rightly so, launch big fat lawsuits against all of the media outlets that had published his image and alleged that he was the abductor and kidnapper of Cleo Smith. And this channel that's sort of been given a lot of credibility for some reason with what they're doing with the Kiely Rodni story. And every time I hear this creator's name, I cringe. Showed this guy's photo, even though he was suing media outlets in Australia, and every media outlet, newspaper, whatever in Australia was completely prohibited from showing this guy's image. She did. So I've got this horrible lingering cough. She showed it. And I was in the chat sort of saying, you might want to take his photo down, because if I was his lawyer, I'd be adding your channel to the list of outlets we're going to sue. Like, you probably don't want to be showing his photo and discussing. You can simply say a man with the same name was wrongfully accused and his name and photograph were put out in the Australian media and now they're all being sued. That would have been fine. But no, you actually had his photo up on screen. And then there were also a lot of really inappropriate comments about his appearance. He's an Indigenous Australian man. And people making judgment calls of what a creep he was and everything. This is a perfectly innocent guy who literally, at the time his photo's been splashed all over the media in Australia, was with his partner giving birth to their first child. Like a good, hardworking, decent bloke. And everyone in this creators chat was like ripping this guy to shreds because they thought he looked creepy. And it was fucking disgusting. Hey, Mandy Hall. Maybe I need to do my own little batshit for YouTube channels, because it's a bit hard getting Finn up to speed on stuff. I mean, if it's a really clean-cut, easy-to-explain clip, I know that Molly Golightly has appeared in an episode of Batshit, as has Mel Mel. Well, motherfucking Lynette, and she won that week as well for mooning me whilst live. But some of this stuff, it's too hard. I mean, it's hard enough for me to get my head around why this is even happening, and people are just loving the shit out of it and no one's calling it out. So, hey, Cement Shoes. Lynette is fabulous, yes. I refuse to say she's the best because I might be the best in someone's opinion. I'm learning to think in my own opinion. I'm not quite there yet, but one day I might be. Oh man, I was on a really good train of thought just then and now I've lost it. I got sidetracked. Oh, Cleo Smith. Yeah. And anyway, I got blocked or timed out, something in the chat, because I respectfully suggested maybe not a good idea to show a completely innocent guy's photo when he's suing media outlets for naming him as Cleo Smith's kidnapper. Anyway, I stupidly put a comment in the comments because someone was going, great live. And I was like, you reckon it was great? It was a bit irresponsible because, you know, you don't really cover a story about someone innocent being stuck all over the media and the damage it's caused his reputation, and then show his photo and then let your chat make horrible racist comments and obscene judgments and assumptions about this perfectly innocent dude, and don't stop that. It's kind of irresponsible. Anyway, I got into this full-on fucking debate with one of her mods slash one-eyed supporters, a bit like a Collingwood supporter, Saint Ratty. She wouldn't budge. And I ended up extricating myself from the discussion because it just became pointless. She was just creating awareness. No, she wasn't. She doesn't actually need to create awareness for an innocent man who's already been falsely accused and named and shamed in the media, who's now suing every news outlet in Australia for doing that. You could mention it as a little sideline. Yeah, the one-eyed supporter. I know where you took that comment, cement shoes. I'm on to you. And so I kind of don't like that channel anymore because I thought that was really irresponsible and very arrogant. And they felt perfectly entitled to do that and not clip it out of that live and not tell their chat to be quiet and shut the fuck up. And isn't it interesting, like in Australia, like there's racism the world over, but we don't cry racism until it genuinely, legitimately is hardcore racism. And it was, and it was disgusting. And not a word was said by the creator or any of the mods. They just let it all continue, and it was disgusting. Yeah, look, the media is pretty fucked too, but at least they're held to account. You know, this is the problem with these YouTube fruit bats. Like, they're not even by their subscribers. And if you do speak up, you tend to be timed out or blocked anyway. But meanwhile, they're all coming out with all this shit about this 16-year-old girl who has lost her life, and her family and friends for now just want to grieve. And there's been no word from the police department about an ongoing investigation or suspicious anything or... And if nothing happens, if nothing comes of it, they're going to keep going. But look at all these videos. Look at all the dead bodies in that car. Seriously, if the cops pulled out a car and there's 5 or 6 dead bodies in there, including the one they've been looking for, I mean, where are all the missing persons alerts for these other 2 to 5 people that were in the car? Like, not one person other than Kiely was listed as missing in that area at the time. So where are all the friends and families of these other 2 to 5 people that are in the car with her, all dead? Why aren't they missing them? Yes, he's saying, Reddy, I desperately wanted to be on a jury, but being a lawyer, I couldn't be. And then when I wasn't a lawyer, the first time I got called up, I was doing breakfast radio in Tassie, and they were like, we can't have you because you're high profile, so see ya. And the second time I got called up, I was no longer working in the media, but when I walked into the courtroom, when my number got called out to be pulled into a courtroom, the judge and both of the lawyers knew me and my family and basically said, don't even sit down, get out. I was, especially when I was a criminal barrister, like I was always curious to know what went on in a jury room, and I just wanted to be on a jury so I could see if the teacher became the foreman and ran the show and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, we would have. Well, yeah, and Harold Holt, he's an Australian Prime Minister who went for a swim and hasn't been seen since. I think he's in the cartoon. Yeah, it is weird. I've acted for them. I've, hung out in cells with them. Not mocking someone's death, but the hoopla has gotten ludicrous. And it is kind of, we're not, but it is sort of mocking her death, in my opinion. Like, let the little girl rest in peace. Oh, Jesus, that would be full on. Did you hear about a lady called Beverly Handley? No. But I interviewed one of the Snowtown murderers. I took his statement. I kind of was happy to leave South Australia after that. I didn't feel safe. especially while they were still sort of all mooching around and there was talk of more bodies and yeah. Whereas the bikers and some of the really rough bastards that I represented protected me. I felt very safe. Oh, Jesus Christ. When did all of this happen, Saint Ratty? I might head home shortly and feed my floof. It's getting to her dinner time. She likes her dinner at 5 p.m. I try to stretch it out to 6, but not until after daylight saving because that will fuck everything up. So we'll just wait for daylight saving and then we'll try and get Sunny having dinner at 6 o'clock during the summer. But then when daylight saving happens, it goes back to 5. And that's just the way it is. Oh dear. Wow, Symmetries, how bizarre. What are the odds? That's crazy. She was in a barrel at the bank. Oh, Beverly. Okay, all right. Okay. Were you talking about two completely? Because I went down the rape in the marriage case. Death by cricket bat would be unpleasant. I like daylight saving too. No, I don't think you're mocking at all. Yep, I'm with you now, Saint Ratty. Sorry. My braining isn't great. Um, but no, not at all. I mean, look, like I said, I mean, I put Harold Holt in the car with them too, cement juice to make you feel better. But yeah, where are all the missing persons reports for all the other people that were in the car? Like, I really want to do a reaction to a few different channels. I want to do the ones that have found all these additional people in the car and the hundreds of people in chat going, oh, I can see it. I can see murky water, and this is why I'm here at the beach looking at the clouds. Yes, Elizabeth Hayden I know more about. Yeah, I agree, Cement Shoes. It's getting over the top. And then the theory that Kylie isn't even a real person, and then everyone's like, neither is Gabby Petito. What the fuck? Oh my God. Look, I'm kooky like you, Saint Ratty. We're all kooks. But at least we're realistic kooks, no bullshit kooks. I mean, I can have fun, I can be a twit, I can go off on all kinds of tangents and I have a vivid imagination. But at the end of the day, when it comes to things that are of a legal nature, the one thing I'm really into is facts. Call me crazy, but I've generally found in my career as a lawyer that facts are usually your best friend. I certainly don't turn to YouTube for explanations about my clients and what people on YouTube think happened because they're never right. I love having you here, Saint Ratty. You heard a theory about a broken is it hyboid? Hyoid bone. Well, I heard a theory she's not real. I heard a theory today that her car isn't the car that was found under the water. So someone has taken the plates off her car and put them on a different car and then thrown it into the reservoir with 2 to 5 other people in it. Oh, Maddie, it is getting ridiculous. And the only reason I'm live is because I just keep thinking about this child, well, young lady, and her family. And, well, she's a child, she's still a minor. And how this is just so mean. So mean. And even if in a sea of bullshit clickbait titles they see a little tiny YouTuber in Tasmania in Australia saying, does anyone else think we should just let Kylie rest in peace? And they see that in the list and they go, oh my God, thank God there's at least one person on YouTube who's not using our child and her name to make money. Let's be blunt. Or if, just one person on YouTube who's in these communities and chats and just wanting to say, hang on, everybody, this is ridiculous. But they don't feel like they can because they've got friends in the chat. They're buddies with the subscribers. They might be members. They might have been subscribed to these channels for years and they've seen what happens to other people when they speak up. Even if it just gives them a little beacon of hope that they're not alone in a sea of swill. Yeah, I'm totally, in terms of Epstein and Maxwell, most annoying, that all got heard and dealt with behind closed doors and he took the easy way out. Fucked up. And no, I'm not a fan of Prince Andrew either. It is, Mandy, and it's just completely ignoring the fact that a child lost their lives and there are people that are genuinely grieving for her right now. Yeah, pretty sophisticated plotting. Exactly. Exactly. And a bunch of wasted teenagers too, but let's hang on every word they say. Oh, there's a pause in that sentence. That means there are more bodies in the car. No, it probably means the person's going, fuck, what was the brief before? This is the cop that mentioned the body in the car. Fuck, what were the briefing notes? Oh, that's right. I'm allowed to say we found a body. Yes, we found a body. They don't, the pause could only mean one thing. There were more bodies in the car. Let's go for the biggest reach of all instead of the obvious, logical, likely explanation. And yes, let's just hang on every word that comes out of these teenagers' mouths who are all shit-faced at the party and probably can't even remember how they got home or what they were wearing, let alone what actually happened. Oh, don't worry, Laurie Vallow's going to get shitloads of coverage, and I might even do some myself. And the beauty, I'm hoping, of the Laurie Vallow nightmare story, because it is a fucking nightmare, is it's already batshit. The true story is batshit. So hopefully people will just report the batshit facts of that case and not have to make anything up, because that story is fucking crazy. Now, Caitlin Armstrong, don't know that one. I might have a little look and I'll let you know what I think, Cement Shoes. I have a daughter who's 17. She has her license. It would break me. Yeah, absolutely. It would be horrific. I love the Law and Crime Network too, although apparently we're not allowed to stream them anymore. I've got to look into that. I agree. We can't watch the Aussie courtrooms. It is a tragedy. Yeah, and I agree too. Those poor kids. Yep, it has. Parasitic's a great word. And that's, you see, because I don't even want to give them credit for coming up with theories or speculation, because I honestly think to do those things, there has to be a little bit of fact woven in and then a bit of logic thrown in. But, you sort of apply the logic to the facts that you have and kind of try to create this scenario. But I don't want to give them credit for having anything like a theory or a speculation. So, yeah, parasitic. It is like a circus. It's fucking insane. And I'm scared of clowns, and circus music creeps me out. So run away. Well, that's what I did. I'm down on the coast and I love it. Speaking of running away, though, look at that sky. How many dead bodies can you see in those clouds? See, Cement Shoes, I'm being tongue-in-cheek too. because we're making fun of the people that are bullshitting communities and getting paid to do it and getting mountains of views, and their channels are growing. I mean, how's this? A YouTuber who was called out last week for blatant plagiarism. Blatant plagiarism, which, sorry, but if you get caught out plagiarizing once, chances are you've done it more than once. She's also been sued for a shitload of money for streaming a news service and essentially not giving them credit. Her channel's growing. Her channel is growing. I hear you, Mandy. I hear you. I'm ready. Oh, God. Look, if anyone came running at me with a machete, I'd run them over, but a clown, I'd run over them and then I'd reverse back over them again. Okay, cement shoes. I'll check out Caitlin. But I'm going to end this live. Look, I feel better now. I know I'm not alone. We are a tiny minority, but fuck it. We're smart and we're logical. And I think we're fabulous. So until next time, Groovers, tonight, Finn and I are doing Batshit 42. It's the Meaning of Life episode, if you're a Douglas Adams fan. Fuck, I better go home and get some stories together. We'll be live in 3.5 hours. It was good fun, St. Ratty, and it was lovely to have you here. Holy shit, cement shoes. I'll look into it, I promise. But until next time, stay groovy, everyone. And just pause and reflect and look at those clouds. I don't know if I can see any dead bodies anymore, but I can see a whole ark full of animals, 2 by 2. I mean, I can't see a fucking thing. But until next time, stay groovy, everyone. I love you guys. This was fun. See you tonight. Bye.